Thank you so much, TEDx, for this opportunity to speak to all of you. Life is strange, isn't it? We've planned for it, we work for it, we dream about it, and we are living it minute by minute, day by day. But many times, life surprises us. We plan for something and something else totally happens. This last year has been a great example for us. Who knew that we would spend a year and a half at home? This has been a life transforming year for us. And this experience, I think, has been a life transforming experience for all of us. I had a similar experience about a decade ago. The night of 26th November 2008 was supposed to be a normal evening for me. Me and my husband were supposed to dine with a dear friend, a German member of European Parliament, that night at one of the finest restaurants in Mumbai, at the Taj Mahal Hotel. When we went to the restaurant and were poring over our menu cards, wondering whether we should order paneer lababdar or paneer pasanda, instead of that paneer, what we were served that night were bullets coming out of AK-47 guns from terrorists. The night of 26/11, I think, will stay green in our memories for some of the most unpleasant reasons. Never before in Indian history was a city like Mumbai attacked, and in such a gruesome way. Some of the most prominent and most illustrious destinations like Taj Mahal Hotel, some other hotels, the Mumbai railway station, were attacked. So many people lost their lives. And as the terrible, terrible event unfolded over 3 days, the world sat glued to the TV screens, watching every move being covered. Me and my husband were hostage inside the Taj Mahal Hotel for close to 14 hours before being rescued by the commandos. And an experience like this is traumatic, to say the least. We were hurt. Luckily, we were not harmed very much, but being rescued from there and to come out of an experience like this can leave you scarred for life. I feel very grateful that instead of that, I got 5 very, very valuable lessons about life, which I want to share with you today. The first lesson I got was how valuable life is. I know so many of you who are listening to me today have spent this last 1.5 years in a very terrible time. We all have. And I'm sure many of us have had moments when we said, oh, what is the use of this life? Especially when we lost very dear ones, loved ones. And we can get despondent about life, but friends, that night, I want to tell you, I realized how much I loved life. I really was praying that I want to live. I prayed that doesn't matter if I get hurt. Maybe I lose a limb. Maybe I get hurt very badly, but I want to live. So life is precious. Life is valuable. And when you are alive is when you can do something with it. So that was a very, very precious, yet very, very brutal lesson I got that night. Secondly, connected to this, I realized time is our wealth. We spend so much time doing this and that. I know all of you are at an age where you feel that, time, you are the master of time. That night, I realized time is really our wealth. Every minute gone is a part of our wealth slipping away. So I realized how valuable time is for me. I was planning at one time, I was hiding under a table and the terrorists were outside our room. I thought these were the last 5 minutes of my life. And I was really thinking how I should have spent those 5 minutes of my life. So life is valuable. Time is wealth was my first lesson. Second, that there is love around the world. That night, I got hundreds, if not thousands of messages from friends, families, friends of families, neighbors, friends of neighbors, extended circles from all around the world, people who we didn't even know, saying that we are praying for you to come out. Once we came out, people writing to us that we are so glad you are safe, those whom I didn't even know. And I realized, oh my God, there are so many people who care for me, who care about my well-being. You know, friends, that night I realized that there is so much love around the world, which we are oblivious to, which we don't realize. Because what we need to do is wake up to that reality, open our eyes to it. I realized it that night. And today, I think it's very important for us in the world. There are today loneliness ministries in some countries. And that is the reality. All of us feel alone and isolated. I want to say today that there is a lot of love in the world. There are a lot of people who are good people and who care for us. So I realized that night. I got so much of it that night and afterwards also. Third, I realized the importance of faith. You know, when everything is going well, it's easy to be, it's easy to say, oh, you know what, life is good and I'm being taken care of. But when things are crumbling around us, is when we need to have the faith that we will be taken care of. I realized that we need to have faith in three ways. First is faith in ourselves. You know, I kept thinking, why did I choose to come that night to that hotel? I mean, I could have, it was a weeknight. I know many of you must have been 7 or 8 years old that night. And I said, oh, why did I come? Why did I come? But if you beat yourself up about the decisions you make, there is a downward spiral that you will go through where no one can save us from. So number one, faith in yourself and the decisions you make that will allow you to stay empowered and strong. Number two, faith in the goodness of people. You know, we were surrounded by rage and anger and, you know, brute force. But at that time, to have faith in the goodness of people is so vital, because otherwise you don't notice the signals, you don't notice the signs of, you know, the good coming your way. So that night was a paradoxical night, because on one side we had these people, you know, doing everything to come to kill us. And on the other side, we had people who were doing everything to come to save us. So which one do we want to focus more on? So faith in the goodness of people. And third, faith in the higher power. You know, when things don't go well, it's very easy to become despondent. It is natural. But at that time, if we can have faith and say, no, I will be looked after, and only the good will happen to me, it can empower us. It can make us so strong that we can actually take the right decisions. So I realized that the importance of faith, that was the third lesson. The fourth lesson is the importance of resilience and grit. You know, that night, I realized that when you are in a crisis situation, is when you need your, is when you need all your inner power. On a normal day, in a normal setting, that is not really the time you need that reservoir of strength you have. But you need to first build that reservoir, right? You can only take water from a pond which is full, not from a dry pond. So I learned that day that you can't learn archery on a battlefield. You can't win an Olympic race by running the first day on the track. You have to practice. So I realized the importance of building resilience, building grit, my own practices of, building resilience, meditation, etc. helped me that night. So build resilience, build grit. We are in a VUCA world, and you will need it because the world is moving and evolving at such a dynamic and fast pace. And the fifth lesson I got was accepting and moving ahead. You know, life happens. We plan for something, something else happens. But if we keep fretting and fuming that how this can happen to me, we can never move ahead. Accepting life enables us to respond to it, to act on it in a positive way, in a calm, centered way. So accepting life and then moving ahead, not getting stuck. Only a flowing river is a life-giving river, is a beautiful river. So we need to make our life like that. Keep moving ahead, no matter what the situation, deal with it, keep moving on, because only in moving on, there is momentum. All of you are young, you are studying. I know you've had tough years. It's been challenging for you, but don't get stuck with it. Take the experience from it and keep moving on, because when you move on, there is energy. I learned this. These experiences have held me in good stead in my life. And I am so happy to be able to share them with you. So know that life is precious. Time is your wealth. There is love for you around the world. Open your eyes to it. Have faith. Have faith in yourself, in people around you, in a higher power. Build your resilience reservoir. Build your grit. You will need it for success in your life. And lastly, accept life in a positive way and keep moving on. I wish you the very, very best in your life. Thanks a lot.